Welcome back, friends, to Be Soul Candy with Sid. I'm Sid, and I'm so excited to have you here with my best friend, Trey. Today's video is going to be about the healing power of touch. I'm going to be taking you through some hands-on assists that you can do with your partner in your home practice, that you can do as a yoga teacher if you're trying to create more connection in your classes. So if that sounds like something that interests you, please stick around and I'll see you on your mat. Right over here. Stick around.
Something to buy the button, yeah. The button, buy Set the
Welcome, friends. This is Trey. He's our gracious and wonderful yoga student for today. So what we're going to be working on today is a series of standing poses. So I'll take you through a quick integration or warm-up, and then we'll move through Sun A, Sun B, a little bit of Navasana to activate our solar plexus, and we'll cool down and come to the mat. And I'll show you different variations of hands-on assist that you can do at different points in class. So feel free to follow along. I'm going to teach like a normal class, and when it comes down to the hands-on assist, we'll just break it down one layer at a time. You ready?
Good.
Okay. Getting started in our child's pose. So come to the back of your mat, but for you, towards the middle of the frame. There we go. Let your big toes touch and send your palms out toward the top edge of your mat. You're going to let your third eye kiss the mat. And if it doesn't, option to bring your knees a little closer to bridge the gap. Now, does your forehead touch the floor? Okay. So a wonderful option if you have a student that might not have that range of motion right here is to put a block right underneath your forehead. And you want a nice firm base as you ground your student's palms into the floor. Take a smooth inhale through your nose. And exhale, smoothing your shoulders apart here. How's that for you?
Good.
Okay. I'm not using a lot of pressure on his shoulders here. Just enough that he can draw back and away. If I wanted to give a little bit of a deeper assist, I might shake my hands just to let him know that I'm nearby. Barbie hands, because you want everyone to feel supported, and my hands are right on his sacrum as I draw down. How's that for you? Okay. Hands are on the outer parts of his hips now. Trey is my friend, so don't try this with people you don't know. But you could have a little seat. That okay for you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And start to spread the shoulder blades apart. Beautiful. Exhale. And come out. Stand. Bring yourself out of the way. And we'll rise to a tabletop position. Now here in your tabletop, you want to make sure that your shoulders are aligned on top of your wrists and your hips right on top of your knees. Inhale, cow pose. Drop your belly, lift your chest, and smile your collarbones up toward the sky as the crown of your head dips back. Exhale, scaredy cat, round through your spine. Scoop your tailbone underneath you. Gaze at your belly button and really feel your spine engage. So press against my hand. Yes. Inhale, cow, drop your belly. And my palm is between his shoulder blades so that he can really feel that engagement here. Exhale, round. Flat palm. One more. Inhale, cow pose. Drop your belly. And exhale, cat. Coming back to a neutral spine, tabletop. Stack your shoulders. Exhale, downward facing dog. Curl your toes under, send your hips up and back. So here in your down dog, he's got a nice generous bend in his knees. His tailbone is drawing up. I always cue people to pretend that they have a pencil between their shoulder blades. And rather than hold the pencil in place, let it fall in your downward facing dog as you connect through your core. So one thing that I can do here is I can bring my Barbie hands right to his hip creases, squat back and lift up and down to help him find more depth. How's that for you? Okay. I can also bring myself onto his mat in kind of a warrior one stance, right at his shoulders and press back so his heels can find more link toward the earth. How does that feel for you? Good? Okay. Take an inhale for me. And exhale, sink a little deeper into your down dog. Perfect. Inhale, gaze forward, top of your space. Exhale, walk to the top of your space. But for you, probably about right here. Forward fold or ragdoll pose. Now, if he's in ragdoll, his knees are a little wider apart. You can allow your torso to drape over your thighs here. And I'm coming hip to hip with him here. So I can bring my palm right to his sacrum and start to draw down as I kind of encourage his spine towards his big toes. You might give a little massage at the neck here. And anything that you brought to your mat that's not serving you in this moment, feel it release out of the crown of your head. We can always pick it up later. But this time and space that we share is all about you. Now I might grab for his hips, and I'm going to just let him know that I'm moving out of the shape. Toe heel your feet together to touch. And start to slowly rise to standing. When they've reached neutral, you can let go. And come to Samastitihi with your hands at your heart center. So with his hands at heart center, this is neutral alignment. So neutral spine, his spine is nice and long here. He's activating through his core. Activate through your core. There it is. And then lift your thighs up and press toward my hand. Yes, but the less duck butt. There we go, right there. Smooth breath in. And a smooth breath out. Finding some groundedness in this posture. Find something that fuels your movements today. If nothing immediately comes to mind, I offer you my intention of optimism as we start a new month, a new journey. Know that miracles are happening in every second of every day if we just choose to acknowledge them. Let's have an amazing class. Floating your arms up, mountain pose. You can breathe here. Now you're going to ground down through all four corners of your feet, still keeping that stillness, that rootedness as you lift your knees up, and now spiral your thighs in. I can come a little bit closer to him here, rotate his elbows in, and soften his shoulders down. How's that for you? As you keep your hips nice and square in the direction that you're moving. Take a smooth breath in. Exhale, back bend. Cactus your arms and find the lift from your chest. So your heart is reaching towards your chin, and your chin straight up toward the sky. Perfect. Inhale, mountain. Exhale, forward fold. So hinge from your hips and swan dive down. Now, if your fingertips don't immediately, excuse me, touch the floor, I might offer some blocks on either side of the pinkies. And we might even go 1 inch higher here. Can you press your palms there? Or, yeah. How's that? Good. Okay. And then flip that one too. So you can ground your palms into the mat and find more length through your hamstrings. So shifting your weight forward Still encouraging the crown of the head down and gentle pressure on his low back to encourage the fold. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. You can keep your palms at your blocks or bring them to your upper thighs and create that flat spine. So the crown of your head is shifting forward, tailbone back as you draw your belly up and in. So one of my favorite postures or adjustments to do here is to come hip to hip with your student. Allow the crown of their head to find length just by encouraging. Now, I might take their shoulder blades and pretend that they're a little nozzle and then just do a little circle to encourage them to pinch their shoulders toward one another. So pinch your shoulders in. There it is. Yes. And then lift up through your rib cage. Inhale. Exhale. High plank. Plant your palms. That is not going to be cute, but it's okay. Shoulders are going to stack on top of your wrists. Spread your fingers wide here. Now I want you to lower down to the top of a push-up. You might even bring the blocks right underneath your shoulders as you lower. So on either side. Yes. And that's building strength in his triceps. Hold here for 4. Flip your toes in 3. Last 2. And 1. If it shakes, it's working. Flip your toes and shine your heart forward. Now, upward facing dog. Now I'm encouraging his shoulders back. And you might want to put your knees right where the shoulders lift and find length through the crown. He's a little taller than me, so it can be a little different. You still good? Mm-hmm. Inhale. Get out of the way. Exhale, downward facing dog. Smooth breath in and breath out. Doing amazing. So normally I would cue 3-legged dog here, but because we're building strength in the back of the thigh for more standing postures, I'm going to cue knee to chest. So bring your knee towards your chest and hug in. There you go. Stack your shoulders on top of your wrist and feel that right hip crease turn back. Inhale. Now exhale. Kick your foot between your thumbs. Perfect. Low lunge. Now notice his back heel is lifted because we're going into crescent lunge next. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ground your thigh here. Inhale, crescent lunge. Beautiful. Now your shoulders are drawing away from your ears in that mountain pose stance. I have his back thigh so that he can be stable here as his front knee stacks on top of that ankle. You still good? Mm-hmm. Take a smooth inhale, lengthen your spine. Then unclamp you. You always want to communicate. Ground yourself. Exhale, warrior 2. Pivot and open up. Perfect. Now his warrior 2 is really strong. And so I don't have to do much here. But if you just want to show a little encouragement to your student, you might give their foot something to ground into. So you might just align your foot with their back foot. Encourage their shoulders down, but keep their biceps nice and strong as they gaze over that front middle finger. Yes. And ensure that they're finding that external rotation in the front hip. So a good way to encourage that, is to press this knee open. You can even use a block outside that knee and say, press here. There it is. Everything fires up from here. He can scoop his tailbone underneath him. Yes. And draw your front nibs a little closer together. Take a smooth inhale for me. Exhale, extended side angle. Hinge forward. Tick-tock your arms to about 6 and 12. You can use your bottom thigh as a table. Perfect. So I'm going to come hip to hip, but he's a little bit taller than me. So I'm in a little chair pose here as his hip is lined up with mine. So one thing we could do is he could reach for my hand and find more length through his obliques. and through his back hip. If we wanted a little bit more, I have his shoulder. We go forward and over for even more length. How's that? Okay. Now can we open your chest a little more? I got you. Inhale. Exhale. Bring that palm down. So this one's going to come behind you, and we'll find reverse warrior. So just keep that front knee bent and send this top arm up. Yes. Now I'm standing a little taller now. This is stunning. I don't have to do anything here. This is Instagram worthy, by the way. Inhale. Exhale, high to low plank. So hugging your elbows in by your rib cage, and you see how he made that adjustment on his own with the blocks without. Flip your toes, inhale upward facing dog, shine your heart forward and lift through your crown. Exhale, downward facing dog, hips roll up and back. Take a smooth breath in and a smooth breath out. Bringing your left knee in toward your chest. Let it hover here, lift toward your belly button. Inhale. Exhale, kick your foot between your thumbs. Low lunge. Now his palms are still grounded. I'm going to come back, clamping right above the knee joint, right underneath his glute. Inhale, crescent lunge. Reach to the sky. From here, I have a nice grounded base. I'm in my Utkatasana almost. You bend your front knee over your front ankle and then start to pull this left hip crease back. How's that for you? Okay, take a smooth inhale. I'm going to unclamp you now. Exhale, warrior two. Pivot and open up. Now his warrior two, the other side, still really strong, but both sides are different. Start to scoop your tailbone down underneath you. Same rules apply here. I could encourage that front knee open. I could use a block. And imagine you're a bow and arrow about to fly through the sky here as you gaze in the direction you're going. So I'm coming hip to hip with him so that he has a place to go to prepare. Smooth breath in. Exhale, extended side angle. Extend it. There we go. Okay. Now he can reach for my hand here to find more length in his oblique, so you can lift here and lift here. Spiral your heart open. And if we want to find a little more length, I might take his shoulder for his acromion process. Go down and up. Beautiful. Stay for your exhale. Yeah, there it is. You gotta actually exhale. Inhale, reverse. Back arm down, top arm up. Feel the sun on your face. And I'm just gonna appreciate the beauty of this asana. Take a smooth breath in. Exhale, high to low plank. Lowering down, top of a push-up, pin your elbows. Inhale, upward facing dog. Yes, lift through your crown. Exhale, downward facing dog, up and back. Smooth inhale through your nose. Exhale. Inhale, gaze to the top of your mat. Exhale, travel to the top of your mat and have a seat. So your standing postures will take you through a whole bunch of core activation, but we're going to do one of my favorites, which is boat pose. So I want you to feel both glutes on the floor. Take your palms behind you. Lift your heart and then lean back until you feel your core turn on. Now draw your knees together and lift up and out through your chest. Beautiful. Option to float your toes up off the mat. Now this is a beautiful place for him to stay. If I want to make this more challenging, use the lead block. Keep lifting your heart toward the sun. If I want to make it even more challenging, I might take this out. Support one leg, and then can we point? Bring this other toe down. Yeah. For 4. Switch in 3. Last 2. And 1. 4. 3. Last 2. Last 1. Come back to your traditional Navasana. There you go. Float your arms forward. Now he could stay just like this, or he could float his arms over his head. I like that. He could lift his knees if he wanted to. I'm just being mean right now. Or he could come out and take an exhale and have a seat. Navasana. Feel the burn. Feel the yoga burn. Perfect. You're right where I want you to be. Okay. So in your Sukhasana, I'm sitting right behind you. You can take these blocks here. And then I want you to lift your arms over your head. And exhale, fold forward. Now I have my palms right in his hip creases. I'm going to squeeze to find a little bit of engagement and then pull back. To encourage him down a little bit more, I might take my forearms on either side. You can round your spine here as you let go. Beautiful. I'm drawing his hips back towards me. That's still okay? Mm-hmm. Okay. More or less pressure here?
More.
More, okay. So for more pressure, I might take my forearms. And I'm not pressing very hard, but just enough to encourage his heart down toward the blocks. More or less. Okay. You want to breathe with your student, so take an inhale for me. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Last one coming up. And let go. You can start to sit tall when you're ready. And make your way down to your back. Keeping your knees bent here. Perfect. We're going to take him through a supported bridge pose after all that core work in Navasana. So on your inhale, lift your hips, ground your palms down. I'm going to take the block right underneath his sacrum here. And you can start to lower your hips down here. Now, if he didn't have the block, and again, this might be for someone that you're very comfortable with, but you want to feel that engagement of their outer thighs. I crisscross my wrists. I'm on his inner knees. Now I want you to press into my hands. This is activating his inner thighs, outer thighs, and his glutes. Lift your heart toward your chin toward the ceiling. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Yes. Now exhale, release your tailbone and your sacrum all the way into the block. And you're here for one breath cycle. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Now I'm going to take the block here. And I'm going to move it from underneath you. You will find fallen bridge, so lower your hips down. And send your heels to opposite edges of the mat while knocking your knees in toward one another. Perfect. From here, can you bring your hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra? So prayer hands. And then bring your thumbs to your third eye. Space between your eyebrows. Take a smooth inhale through your nose. And exhale through your nose. Letting your palms go out to opposite directions so you can keep a little cactus here. And I'm just going to encourage his low back with some windshield wipers. I'm going to use this momentum to take him into supine twist toward the left. So move your knees to the left for me. Now move that way. Perfect. Now, one thing I notice immediately in his supine twist is that his shoulders want to come up. Nothing particularly wrong with this, but you want this to be gentle. So I'm going to decrease your twist a little bit by bringing these toes a little more down to a place where his shoulder can now ground on the floor. Does that feel okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now I'm bracing his shoulder here. So just a little gentle pressure. And then my hand is right at his hip crease and I'm going to smooth down towards his thigh. So take an inhale for me. And exhale. And I'm encouraging the twist a little bit deeper. I might find a little gentle pressure on the knee here, not too much, because the knee is a really sensitive area. Does that feel okay?
Feels good.
Okay. Take an inhale. And an exhale. And we'll come back through center. And when you encourage people into shapes that they might not normally find that level of depth, you want to make sure you do both sides. So I'm going to ground him here. And he already knows, because of the first side, that he might need to decrease his twist a little bit. Perfect. Yeah, so we want that shoulder nice and grounded here. And then you can send your gaze opposite your knee. So go, yeah. Smile for the camera. Inhale and exhale. Still good?
Mm-hmm.
Inhale, exhale. One more. Making your way back to center by drawing your knees to your chest. Still going for that gentle rock of your low back. And you can stay on the floor here. Just give it a little love. Little swing low. This isn't an adjustment, it's just fun. And when you're ready, you can find happy baby pose by kicking both heels to the sky. Now, I'm going to show you two different variations of this adjustment. So my knees are right by his ears. And this would be a nice adjustment if you're in a class and maybe you don't know the person as well. You can kind of draw their shoulders away. You're going to take your hands outside of their feet and just kind of steer them like a steering wheel. His eyes are closed. I can sway him one way, the other. How you doing?
Great.
Okay. And this is massaging his low back. Now, if you know your student well, or this is your partner, you need like a slightly deeper adjustment. Now I'm going to come into kind of a deep squat here. Still same thing, but my knees are going to go right underneath the crease of his glutes, and I'm adding gentle pressure here. So I'm kind of like in Michael Jackson feet with my heels up. Is that okay? Mm-hmm. Okay. Then I can encourage this leg up. And I might do a little. And I'm feeling his hamstrings actually release more as I do this. So you could encourage one knee down and one out and back through center, heel down and back out. Ooh, look at that. And then I come back through center and we put him in a nice little ball. Wrap him up like a baby. Curl into a little ball for me. Send love everywhere it needs to go. Smooth inhale. Exhale, Shavasana. Now, this is my favorite space to create some stillness. Can I get you back on the mat, my love? You like? Your students have worked hard for themselves and to show up for you. If they want to stay in Shavasana for your whole class, nothing but space and opportunity. So we can find things like blocks under the knees, create some comfort. And for my Shavasana adjustment, I like to start from the feet down. So you want to make sure if you're in a group class that you have hand sanitizer handy as you move from person to person. So I'm finding a little massage of his feet. Might find some gentle movement here. Now palm press his thighs. And gentle movement as I kind of rock back and forth here. And his legs are in a external rotation here. So if I want to bring them more inward, I could place them on my chest here. Inhale, exhale. Breathe with your students. Move gingerly. At a loving pace. From here, I might do some gentle circles of his shoulder. One way and another. Just to make sure he's really soft and floppy here as he lays. And finally, we end at the crown. So I might give his neck a little massage here. You can find a gentle basket grip under the base of his skull and just lift. Little wiggles and shakes as he comes down. And I like to end with the thumb right to your third eye to activate your third eye chakra. Take a smooth inhale and an exhale. He's going to stay in Shavasana for as long as he's comfortable. To all our friends that joined us for the video today, thank you so much. I hope it resonated, and I hope to see you again here soon. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.